Okay, everyone. Well, we're a couple minutes in, so maybe some more people will come as the time passes, but I'm going to get started. So my name is Hannah Linden, and I want to welcome you to the info session for the 2026 Youth for Soil Mentorship Initiative. I'm seeing some familiar names, which is exciting. I think a lot of people maybe applied last year and are hoping, or the year before, and are maybe hoping to see if you can get involved this year. So that's really exciting. We have some updates on the initiative and the structure to share with you today, and we're going to be opening the applications today. So I hope that I can answer all of your questions and um, yeah, let's get started. So, like I said, my name's Hannah Linden. I'm a research associate working with CASH and C4ECRAF. So I've been working with the Coalition of Action for Soil Health since 2022 as the communications director, but I've recently moved into a research role. Um, but I'm still very involved with cash. So in 2024, started up the Youth for Soil Mentorship Initiative. So I'll still be leading that this year. Um, and for C4ECRAF, I do like research affiliated projects. And I'm also a PhD student at Memorial University of Newfoundland and Labrador. My thesis is about women's agency over land and productive resources in the Gambia. Um, so just a quick reminder of who we are. This is info session on behalf of the Coalition of Action for Soil Health. And our goal is to improve soil health globally by addressing critical implementation, monitoring, policy, and investment barriers that constrain farmers from scaling healthy soil practices. Our agenda for today is that we're going to go on a brief background of the mentorship initiative. We're going to talk a little bit about the mentorship programming for this year, and then we will have a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, I would just request that you can either put them in the chat or you can save them to the end, but we will definitely have a chance to get your feedback at the end. So yeah, please hold tight. So the objectives of today's meeting, like I said, is to provide an overview of the mentorship initiative to date, present the structure of this year, and then answer some burning questions about the initiative that you might have. And we want to also get some feedback from you, and we'll be launching the sign-up form. So just to remind everyone, healthy soil is the ability of the soil to sustain the productivity, diversity, and environmental services of terrestrial ecosystems. This is the official definition that's adopted by CASH. We don't like tie our members to this definition. If you have another definition that suits your organization better, that's absolutely fine with us. But this is the one that we use. And we have four goals as a coalition. So we want to integrate soil health into policy and decision making. We want to fill key knowledge gaps on the impact of land management on soil health, increase the number of hectares of land under healthy soil practices, and unlock financial investment in soil health. These are these goals are sort of spread out over the work packages of the coalition and some of the collaborations that we're doing. We're really looking this year at like reimagining the strategy of the coalition and like how we can make the most of these goals and have the most impact towards them. So we're reimagining them sort of as these pillars of the coalition. So I won't go into detail on them, but we have convening and coordinating for collective action. We have policy support and integration, knowledge, evidence, education, and encouraging innovative investment pathways. So the last one there, investment pathways, is one that we have been really trying to pick up over the last few years. I think people get confused because our name is cash, but we have no cash. So we really want to be leveraging money so that it goes to farmers so that they're able to implement healthy soil practices. And you'll see at the bottom here, we have these cross-cutting activities that go along all of our pillars, strategic communications and advocacy, member engagements and partnerships, and youth leadership. And that's a really big one for us. We want to see youth participating and really being active in all of the pillars of the coalition. So that's where you come in. We have done a lot of work with our youth cohort over the years. This is an upcoming collaboration opportunity where we want to work on a youth-led soil data brief on demystifying soil health data. So if you are interested in collaborating on this, I would follow the QR code there. And on the left, we have an example of a brief that we put together in 2024 on youth initiatives for scaling soil health. We're definitely interested in doing something like this again. Because there are just so many different initiatives that people are doing in the coalition, like it's wild. So if this is something that you want to participate in, the information can be found in that QR code. Last year, we also launched the Youth for Soil Manifesto. I know, I think some people that are in the chat participated in the writing the manifesto, so that's really exciting. There will still be collaboration opportunities for this. So, keep your eye out and reach out to our team. I'll put all the emails at the end of the presentation. So if that is something that you want to engage in further, there will definitely be opportunities to do that. Another activity that we're going to be doing with our youth this year is a youth, women, and land tenure brief. So again, reach out to engage on this. We want to, I'll be leading this brief in particular. We want to hear case studies and stories of youth and women who access land. Like, what was the process of doing that? What are some of your tenure conditions and arrangements and things like that, and how is that an enabler or a constraint for scaling soil health? Yeah, so now I'll go into a bit about the mentorship initiative so far. First off, I really want to be super clear on who is a mentor and who's a mentee, because as you'll see in a minute, there were some confusions about what the distinction is last year. So mentors are professional people of any age working in the field of soil health. So we've had people who are professors, we've had scientists, we've had policymakers, anybody who's working in the field of soil health who wants to mentor an individual. And mentees are youth. So we want, our definition of youth is between the ages of 18 and 35 who are interested in developing their skills and capacity to advocate for soil health in your field. We don't have a requirement for what your remit is as a mentee or a mentor, as long as you are working towards scaling soil health in some capacity, and you want to help someone build their skills or you want to build your skills, that's fine. But just keep an eye on the distinction between a mentor and mentee, especially when you're doing the application, because otherwise we get some confusion and it's hard to match people. Last year, this was our breakdown of the sign up. So we asked people to check a box to tell us what they were interested in. So you can see I'm interested in becoming a mentee was the biggest proportion. We had about 71% of applications of people who wanted to be mentees. And we had about 17.1% who were interested in becoming a mentor. We found that within the mentor applications, a good portion of them were potential mentees who just clicked the wrong box. So that's why I want to be sure that we're clicking the correct box. We also had a checkbox for joining the Youth for Soil Working Group. That is still totally a possibility, but I'm going to give you Susanna's email at the end, or Susanna can maybe put it in the chat. She's the lead of the Youth for Soil Working Group. So if you're interested in joining, you absolutely can do that. And at the end of the application for joining the mentorship initiative, there is an option to join the working group. It's just that we won't put this up front because I think some people thought that joining the working group meant that they're applying to be a mentee, and that's not the case. And the other ones that were sort of ended up being sort of confusing were funding a youth soil health initiative and funding an advocate. I think the confusion was that some people thought that by clicking yes to one of those boxes, it meant that they would receive funding. But like I said, we don't have any personal funding. We were looking for like mentors who had funding that they could allocate. So we're going to be looking for funding for youth through different streams this year. But this just isn't that where you sign up for that. But that kind of stuff will come out. If you don't follow our newsletter, please do, because that information will be circulated through there. So last year, we successfully matched 11 groups or pairs of mentors and mentees. So if you are interested in being a mentor, you can put in your application that you want to mentor multiple people at once. We had a couple cases of that, and they were had varying levels of success. One thing we noticed though was that connections were difficult to make and maintain. So I am the one who personally makes the connections between mentors and mentees. I'll review all of your applications. I'll read like what your priorities and your goals are. And then I will try to find a mentor that has the same sort of scope as you do. Originally, I wanted to join all of the match meetings, but we had a lot of no-shows, both from mentees and mentors, and we had a lot of like non-responsive people. So, and then there was also a few cases of folks who were matched successfully, but then just found it hard to maintain their connections and like found it hard to find like a schedule for meeting. So these are some of the things that we are taking into consideration and have sort of relaunched the new program with in mind. Some of the outcomes from the previous mentorship initiative, like I said, the mentorship initiative started in 2024. So we have like we had about a year and a half of implementation. And because of the disproportionate number of applications that we got from mentors and mentees, one of the things we did was we developed the Youth for Soil Working Group, which is super active now. And I really, really recommend if you're not in it that you do join. This was our way of trying to make sure that everybody has a chance to engage and stay active within the coalition. And really, like, especially under Susanna's leadership, like they've just done so much. They organized 4 soil solutions showcases last year. The soil solutions showcases are a chance for youth organizations to showcase the work that they're doing, and there were a lot of really cool, unique initiatives that are youth-led that we got to learn about. The Youth for Soil Working Group also co-produced the Youth for Soil Manifesto, which was presented at the UN Convention for Climate Change, COP in Brazil. And the working group also met once per month and did peer-to-peer skills transfer. So there was a lot of like collaborating and talking through like group initiatives. It was really, really active. And I have Susanna's email here at the bottom. So if that is something that you're interested in doing, so send her an email. She'll put you on the mailing list. We also featured a mentor and mentee pair in the annual report from last year. So we're going to be doing that again this year. We have a mentor-mentee pair who have already submitted to be featured in the report. Hopefully this year with our new cohort of mentors and mentees, we'll have more people be able to share more testimonials. You know, we want to showcase as many people as possible. So we're really excited about this opportunity. And we also had a joint webinar between a mentor and a mentee. So on the left there, you'll see Shalom Ablalumor. She's a mentee or a mentor, sorry. And Clemens Manyika is a mentee. And they co-host a webinar on building a strong social media presence. If you follow the QR code there, you can find a review that Clemens wrote about the webinar. And yeah, it was hosted by Shalom and moderated by Clemens. So it was a really cool opportunity. If you and your mentor want to do something like this, like co-host a webinar or info session or anything like that, like you be totally supported by the cash team in doing so. So um, with all this in mind, um, in the spirit of continual learning, we have reformulated the mentorship initiative this year. Um, and I'm going to tell you a bit about that now. So, first up is the timeline. February 17th, today, we're opening the call for applications and we're going to host the online information session. I will share the link at the end of the presentation. And yeah, you will be able to start putting your application together. Um, you will have 2 weeks to put the application together. I will go through what the application entails in a moment. It's not very long. But so on March 3rd, we're going to start reviewing the applications and facilitating matches between mentors and mentees. That just gives us 2 full weeks to get as many applications as we can. And then over the course of March, we'll be making these connections and we'll be asking mentees to reach out to their mentors and confirm your availability and your interest in working together. And then between the 1st of April and the 30th of September, we request that you meet at least 6 times. And we will also provide you with an info packet, which will have a place to record the dates of your meetings and your key takeaways. There are no other like specific requirements for your collaboration. Just that you write your key takeaways, and we'll say probably you'll just have to write like 3. It's just a way of recording that you met and that you had a discussion, but without any like solid deliverables, just because we want to keep it as open as possible and as adaptable to the goals that you set between the mentor and the mentee. But I will go into that a little bit more and like what, and you can ask questions, but like what that entails and like what some of the activities could be in a moment. And then in October, we're going to host a reflection webinar and award certificates. So everybody who completes the program and meets 6 times between the mentor and mentee will be awarded a certificate, a virtual certificate that you'll be able to print. We will like post your name and your like cohort year on the CASH website. So we'll document it really well. And we also want to host the webinar so that you can share like what did you learn, what were your activities that you collaborated on together, and your mentorship journey doesn't have to stop there. If you and your mentor are working really closely together on like a long-term initiative, you can absolutely continue working with them. It's just to like graduate, I guess, the program, you would be expected to meet 6 times between April and September. And yeah, that's it. um, we also just want to note that we will be collecting the results of the initiative, and we want to try to build a cohort of speakers and collaborators who we can like refer to speak at specific events. So like if we're hosting a CASH webinar and we're looking for a youth speaker, we would love to like have somebody who participated in the program. So we're hoping that this initiative can go beyond the mentorship initiative itself and actually like create more opportunities for alumni. So in terms of roles, there's three actors in this. We have mentees, the cash secretariat, and the mentors. The main responsibilities of the mentees will be to facilitate your meetings with the mentors. Um, Essentially, like the cash secretariat will facilitate the matches based on your applications. And then it will be up to the mentees and the mentors to meet. And we're asking that mentees take on the role of reaching out to their mentors and organizing their meetings. We do want to make space for the fact that like sometimes people don't respond. So that's why we want to start making the matches as soon as we can in March, so that over the course of March you have a chance to reach out to your mentor, hear back from them, and like schedule your first meeting. And if you don't get a chance to do that, then we can try to find somebody else. Um, and vice versa. If a mentor is not hearing from their mentees, they will be matched with somebody else pretty quickly. I think, like as I mentioned before, we get a lot more applications from mentors than mentees. So just keep that in mind. If you get matched, please respond. That's a big one. And then the cash secretariat is also going to be like reviewing and approving your completed mentorship packages, and trying to engage you on communications products, including the webinar, maybe like a brief or something like that. Um, and we can also offer like references. So if you are applying for something and you need a reference that you participated or are participating in this program, we can say yes. So all of this is going to be or is outlined in the TORs for the initiative, which are on the CASH website. So I'll make sure you get that link at the end as well. So some examples of mentor-mentee activities. Um, Mentors can provide feedback on project strategies, reports, blogs, CVs, or other written or visual materials, but you cannot ask them for help with academic work. With an application, sure, like if you're applying to a university, I think that's fine. But anything that's like you're applying for school, or you're applying like anything you're going to submit academically, you can't ask for your mentor for help with that because that's plagiarism. I hope that that's clear, but any like professional work, any applications, CVs, that sort of things, absolutely fine. Mentors can also provide advice on how to build your professional networks. They can also provide opportunities for you to grow those networks. So perhaps like your mentor could like if you're in the same region, your mentor could invite you to join a workshop or invite you to join a meeting or something like that. And they can also provide guidance and support. So again, this is not like these are just guidelines, these are just suggestions, but all of our mentor-mentee pairs that we did last year um, collaborated on activities that like we didn't expect. So like, for example, Clements and Shalom, the example I gave before, when they co-hosted the webinar on building your social media presence, like we didn't know they were going to do that. It was amazing. It was like the participation was great. So you can do whatever you want, basically, and we'll support you. Also, if you have any questions about activities, you can just reach out to me and if you want advice or anything like that. So benefits to participants. So you will be awarded a certificate of completion. You'll be invited to speak at the experience sharing webinar. You don't have to, but you'll be invited to. And you will also join the network of alumni who can participate in high level speaking opportunities whenever you can. So the elements of your application, anybody who applied to the mentorship initiative before will recognize this as the same application style. So first you'll provide a short bio about yourself, like what you're doing, what you have accomplished. Try to keep it short, try to keep it like very factual. You'll also be asked what skills or areas of development you would like to be mentored on. So we have, these are the guiding examples. And then there's also an option for other. So if you have other ideas, that's fine. A lot of folks before would click on all of these because they're just interested in doing anything. I would recommend that you try to be as specific as possible because keep in mind, like before, we had 200 applications. So I'm reading 200 applications, and if your application is kind of vague and not targeted, it's hard for me to like narrow in on like what you're looking for. It's hard for me to to make the connection between you and a mentor because I it's just too broad. So I really, really strongly recommend that you try to be really specific. Um, you can even say like if you want, if you can check one of these and then in the other like elaborate or something like that. Like I will, these are like qualitative responses except for this one. So like you have an opportunity to elaborate and be, but like in a specific way. So that's my advice. You can do whatever you want. It's your application. It's just try to keep in mind that I'm reading a lot of applications. So if you want to stand out, try to be specific. And same thing with the next two questions. So what do you hope to achieve through mentorship and what are your long-term goals? Like if you can try to be specific, especially in part three, on what you hope to achieve. That's really helpful for me in finding a good match for you. And then with your long-term goals, like you can break that down into like the next year and the next 10 years or something like that, you know? It's just for me to get an idea of like what are your priorities and like what kind of help and mentorship you would need. Um, yeah, I hope that that's clear. You can definitely put your questions in the chat if you have any, and we can go over them at the end of the session. And if we have any mentors who are here, the only difference in the application is that you'll be asked to provide a short bio and you'll receive question two, but from the other end. So what skills or areas of development are you able to mentor on? But then you'll also be asked, what do you hope to accomplish as a mentor? So like, what do you want to contribute to your mentee? Um, I would say for mentors, maybe do the opposite of the mentees. Like if you have a broad skill set, then say that. Like, for example, I was a mentor last year, um, and I was able to provide mentorship on like strategic writing as well as gender research, as well as multi-stakeholder collaboration, as well as research and development, you know. So if you are able and interested in mentoring on a broad range of different elements, you absolutely may. But if you're a mentee, try to be specific. Okay, so a couple frequently asked questions that we get. One, I'm still working with my previous mentor. Can we stay matched? You absolutely can. If you want to keep working with your current mentor, just tell me, and I will sign you up for the initiative under the same mentorship. You don't have to redo the application. Just let me know, and then I'll make sure you receive all of the mentorship package so that you can um, fill it in as you go over the 6 months and then be included in the knowledge sharing webinar and stuff. But yeah, you can totally work with your previous mentor if you want. I'm so busy over the next 2 weeks. Can I have more time for the application? You can. You can. I'm not going to close the application on March 3rd. I just think that if you apply late, there's a better chance that the mentors will be taken. So I strongly recommend that you do it within the next 2 weeks. It's not a long application. I hope it won't take more than like an hour maximum, depending on how fast you write. So just keep that in mind. But you can apply after the 3rd for sure. And then I want to be a mentor and a mentee. Can I do this? Yes, you can. I am technically a youth, so I'm 33. So I was a mentor last year. I was not a mentee, but I could have if I wanted to. maybe that's a conflict of interest. Maybe I'm a bad example, but I was like, you can be a mentor and a mentee. If you feel like you want to develop in one area of your skill set and be mentored in that skill set, great. And if you feel like you have skills and expertise that you want to share, great. Like you can do both, no problem. Just reach out to me so that I can make sure that you get to do two different applications. And I'll make sure that happens. And then the final question is, I'm not an official member of CASH. Can I still join? Yes, you can, of course. This is open to anybody. I will, well, Susanna has shared her email in the chat. So if you're not a member and you want to be a member, please reach out to her because she will send you the membership package. It's open, it's non-binding. We would love to continue our collaboration and build our network of partners, but you don't have to be a member to be a mentor or a mentee. And most of this information you can find if you follow that QR code. That's the link to the Youth for Soil page on the CASH website, where you will find the terms of reference for the program. So all of this information is in there. And if you have any additional questions, you can reach out to me anytime. So I wanted to ask, well, I guess we can look at that in a minute, but does anyone have any questions about the program? Oh, participants can't unmute, sorry. Um, Frederick, are you there? Can you change it so the participants can unmute themselves? Okay, can you try now to unmute? Maybe Susanna to show that you can do it.
Hey, it's working now.
Okay, great. Thanks. Does anyone have any questions? Eve, can see in the chat, are the meetings physical or online? The meetings for the mentorships can be physical if you are in the same region. There is a section on the application where you can say where you're from, just because we try to make things work like time zone wise. Because like if we had somebody who was like in Australia and somebody who was in, I don't know, Brazil, it would be very difficult for them to meet just with the time zone. So we do try to make sure people are matched sort of regionally, but that's can be you can be in completely different countries. So usually the meetings are online. But if you're in the same place then and you want to meet in person, that's great. Okay, if you have any more questions, you can put them in the chat or put your hand up or unmute yourself. Don't worry about it. But I wanted to ask, just as a quick group brainstorming activity, is there anything else you want to see from the program this year? Is there anything we missed?
There is a question in the chat, Hannah.
Oh, will there be structured learning modules or toolkits provided to the mentees? So the only structured resources that we will give you will be the like the completion package where you'll record your key takeaways for from the meeting. The reason for that is that there are too many different, like, we don't want to be restrictive in what you can do as a mentor-mentee pair. We want to make sure that you can um, be creative in what your activities are. So we don't have modules, but you will receive like a booklet, like a virtual booklet where you can write down your key takeaways and your meeting dates. But if you and your mentor are having trouble um, looking into like activities that you can do together, then you can just reach out to us at any time. You can reach out to me, you can reach out to Susanna, and we can give you some advice to the best of our ability. Okay, Lucius also asked, is there potential for country level alumni networks or hubs? Yes, there absolutely is. If that's something that you want to lead, you can totally do that. We had one of our Youth for Soil mentees last year started a Youth for Soil Asia program. He's from Nepal. So if you want to start like South Africa, West Africa, we also had a huge cohort from Tanzania last year. We tried to make some connections with them. So if you want to lead that or you want to participate in that, then we will be happy to try to like set up a communications channel so that you can do like a country level alumni network. Absolutely. Um, Benson asked, can we have more support for soil engagement strengthened at the national level through the mentorship initiative? Possibly lead to convening of national youth for soil forums. That's a great idea. Um, so what type of support are you thinking of, Benson? It's okay if you don't have like a specific idea in mind right now. We'll write that down and we'll make sure that like we have a think about that. Um, I think that the your question and Lucius's question sort of build off of each other. Like if we're looking at making more like regional networks of youth for soil, then that's a great opportunity to convene national initiatives. Um, in terms of like matching mentors with your like national level initiative, depends on who we have that applies, but often like if the youth convene, then um, there's a good chance that more established professionals will want to participate and show up. So if that's something that you want to do, we will totally support that. Okay, well, I'm gonna open this up now. I just want to say thank you all so much for participating today. If you follow the QR code there, you will find the link to apply to the program. And um, that's the form link at the top. Maybe if I can get Susanna to copy that and share it in the chat. Um, oh, I see, Lucius, you asked how many mentees can a mentor have? Um, I mean, we had one mentor last year who mentored a group of five. So the group would meet all together. Um, and that was fine. We, yeah, if that's something that both the mentor and the mentees are interested in, then that's fine. Yeah, I guess we would take it on a case by case basis. I can't, nobody's really like applied to specifically to have more than one separate mentee. So I'll say that it's unlimited within reason. If somebody says that they want to mentor like 10 people, I'll be like, I think that that's maybe a bit much, but okay, let me just grab this link so I can put it in the chat. Okay, so there's the link to apply. If you have any troubles with your application or you have any questions, please send me an email. Putting my email in the chat as well. Also, the sign up links and the TORs are also available on the Youth for Soil webpage now. I just put that in the chat as well. So if you lose the link, it's on there. And yeah, I hope that's clear for everybody. Phoebe said, uh, can I be involved in your organization? Yeah, absolutely you can, Phoebe. Can you reach out to Susanna about membership? I've just put Susanna's email in the chat for you, Phoebe. Okay, everyone. Well, I'm going to close out the session now. Thank you so much for participating, and I really look forward to reading your applications. This recording will be posted on the Cash YouTube channel, so you can refer back to it. And yeah, have a good one. Thank you.